have been selling insurance with Sagicor Life since June 1, 1992. In my opinion, it is very important to maintain a good relationship between yourself and your client. The clients want to know that you are there with them and for them. But it is also important to note that the clients expect you to be well informed, to be competent, and to know your information so that they can trust you.
2006, my wife at the time died from pancreatic cancer. And that's when Mr. Jackson really came into his own. 2 months before she died, he came by the house one evening and we sat at the dining table and he, expressed his condolences in terms of her illness and how it had affected him also. But I remember clearly his words were, "We can't leave things in disarray." He produced a copy of her policy and said, "This is made out to estate, and that's going to take years for the will to be probated." He said, "If you change this to a named beneficiary, then your money will be paid much more quickly."
Insurance becomes alive when there is trust and truthfulness on the part of the clients as well as on the part of the agent.
After she passed, he came bugging me to sign a form. She died the 20th of July. We had her service here, and then we went to Barbados because she was Barbadian. We had a memorial service for her in Barbados. And when I came back to Jamaica on the 20th of August, there is Mr. Jackson handing me a check.
I have found that many of our Jamaican men suffer from a range of illnesses, whether it be stroke or heart attack. It might be from colon cancer, lungs cancer, or prostate cancer.
Mr. Ishmael Jackson, my Sagicor life insurance advisor, I have known him for 15 to 20 years. He convinced me that health care was a very costly exercise and that there was a need for coverage for someone my age and my shape.
I was 30,000 feet in the skies flying one day, and I looked through the airline magazine and I was very impressed with a urologist in Florida. And so I went and saw that man, and in checking it up, he found out that I did have prostate cancer. I thought, whoa, we're looking at some money here. And that's where I thought of my triple protector plan.
When a client is diagnosed with a critical illness, if he doesn't have the required financial stability, it can devastate his family because most of his earnings or his savings can be used up in seeking medical attention.
I could not lie on my back at nights. Not even my family members were convinced that I was ill. So I was on the ground working. I went to my family doctor and he was not even able to diagnose what was happening to me. Eventually he referred me to the cardiologist who did a number of tests, and he discovered that I had a mild heart attack and that my heart was functioning at 40% capacity.
And it therefore begs the question to buy into life insurance policies so that in the event any of these illnesses is developed, then you have the financial capacity to deal with the related expenses. Sagicor has the ability not only to develop policies, but also to honor their commitments.
Having made the diagnosis and come back to Jamaica, I contacted Mr. Jackson and we discussed it, and he told me what I needed to submit. I was in church the night when Mr. Jackson came, called me out of church, handed me my check. 1 week between application and collecting my check.
After a year of treatment for my mild heart attack, I'd used up quite a bit of personal resources. And then I remembered that I had my critical illness insurance. Having submitted my claims, I was surprised 7 days after. a bouncing check came my way in full coverage of the claim. I recall lifting the check towards heaven and pray a prayer of blessing for Sagicor Insurance Company for meeting my need at a time when I needed it.
Sagicor has a range of life insurance policies that make payment upon the diagnosis of predetermined and predefined chronic illnesses.
I have 3 Sagicor type policies: critical illness, investment, and life insurance.
I bought my first triple protector plan in 2006. My mother died of a heart attack, my father had cancer, my uncle had cancer, my brother had cancer, my wife died from cancer. So it was a fairly easy sell. And the triple protector plan is carrying me from then, even now.
I would say to Jamaica that everyone can benefit from life insurance, as I did. When you are in need of finances to meet your medical needs, then you can benefit from such policies.
There is nothing that Sagicor comes out with that Mr. Jackson doesn't come and say to me, this is on the table. I have seen him do this for the poor of the poorest, the rich of the richest. He is there for you all the way.
I have been in life insurance for approximately 22 years, and I have found it to be a rewarding career. I love my job and I love my clients. And my advice to my friends, my clients, and my family, life insurance is always indispensable. Remember, you buy insurance when you can get it. Don't wait until you need it. Perhaps that time you might not be able to qualify for life insurance.